Look, I want to show you something I've been sitting on for a while. We built Real Talk Mode inside of a UGC script maker. The whole point was simple. Take polished sales script and make it sound like something a real person would actually say. And it worked, kind of. But something was off. I kept generating script after script, and they all had this sameness to them. Different products, different hooks, same feel. Then I spotted it. Every script started with honestly. Every discover would stumbled upon. Every CTA ended with seriously, go grab one. It was like putting casual clothes on a formal sales pitch and calling it a person. And after running script after script, I started noticing something. The AI had built its own fingerprint. The same phrases, the same structure, the same spots every single time. It took me a while to see it, but once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. And the moment your audience sees it too, the whole illusion falls apart. So I went back in. I figured out why it was happening and rebuilt it from the ground up. That's what I want to show you today. Because if you're creating short form video with VidMaster or any other tool, this changes how you think about the whole thing. And it all starts with a story. Your avatar, their story, one click. So that's exactly what this is about. The UGC scriptwriter inside of Master Tools just got a lot smarter. We're now crafting authentic, audience-targeted stories for your YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, TikTok, and in minutes. 2 significant upgrades with 0 extra work. Let me show you what it actually means. 2 problems, 1 powerful upgrade. Short form content only wins when 2 things are true. The story has to be real and the audience has to be known. We had a gap on both of these, so we fixed both. Problem 1, who's watching? You plug in a product URL or your money URL and the AI instantly identifies your target audience, their pain points, and the variables that actually matter. No guessing, no manual research, it just knows. Problem 2, does it sound real? That's Real Talk Mode version 2. It takes any sales pitch and turns it into a genuine human story, something your avatar can deliver naturally. No fingerprints, no templates. So together, that's the zero to story pipeline. 1 URL, 1 click, you're done. Real Talk Mode got a major upgrade. How UGC Script Maker turns sales scripts into authentic stories. This is the part I really want to dig in with you today. Because the upgrade to Real Talk Mode, this is what I've been putting serious time into lately. And I think once you see what changed and why it changed, you're going to look at short form video completely differently. Now, let me take you through it. The problem we were solving when we first built Real Talk Mode, the goal was simple. We take a sales script, something clean, polished, professional, and convert it into something a real person would actually say. In version 1, it did that. Well, kind of. It loosened the language, it softened the tone, it pulled out the most obvious ad speak. But I started noticing a pattern after generating script after script. Almost every single one started with the word honestly. Every discovery used the phrase stumbled upon. Every CTA ended with seriously, go grab one or you won't regret it. The filler words showed up in the exact same spots every time. Pause after the hook, you know. After the pain point, for real, right before the CTA. It wasn't a conversation, it was a template wearing casual clothes. So why V1 fell short? And here's the deeper issue. Once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. The original subroutine was treating each section of the script as its own isolated unit to be casualized independently. It was essentially a find and replace tool. Swap formal words for informal ones and add a filler here. Soften the CTA there. The sentences were still grammatically complete, the structure was still rigid, and the product, it was still being announced rather than discovered mid-story. Think about it like this. When you're telling a friend about something that actually helped you, you don't lead with the product name. You don't announce it like a press release. You start with what was wrong. You figure out the story as you're telling it. and the product shows up naturally as the thing that changed everything. The ending isn't a call to action. It's just the logical conclusion of the thought. That's what V1 was missing, and that's what we set out to fix. What real speech actually looks like. So we went and looked at linguistics research on spoken discourse and informal speech patterns. And what we found confirmed what we already suspected. There are 6 specific features that separate genuine casual speech from scripted casual speech. Number 1, sentence fragments. Real people don't finish every thought. And I'm like, what? That's a real sentence in a real conversation. Self-corrections. It's been, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks? Yeah, about 3 weeks. Nobody states everything with perfect certainty when they're just talking. Trailing thoughts. And it just works, Not every sentence gets a definitive landing. Embedding asides, which, by the way, took me forever to figure out. Real people go sideways mid-story. That's what makes it feel real. Hedging language. Kind of, sort of, I think, pretty much. This is the way I talk. Version 1 occasionally used basically, but mostly everything was confident assertions. Real people hedge a lot. And then the big one, implied emotion. Instead of saying, I was so frustrated, you say, I was done, just done. The line carries 10 times the weight because you're not telling me how to feel, you're making me feel it. And the research confirmed the thing that common sense already knew. Real word of mouth is structured around someone figuring out something, not reading the pitch. The product is a discovery within the story, not the subject of the story. Now, before I get into the V2 design principles, I want to show you something we added that I think is going to be the thing most of you actually lead with. We built in a site analysis feature. You just plug in the URL, and that's it. The system goes out, analyzes the page, finds your target audience, defines the problem and pain points, pulls in other key variables, and then it writes the script. It converts it from a script into an authentic UGC story. You don't have to write copy. You don't have to figure out your hook angle or your pain points. You don't have to do any of the heavy lifting. You plug in a URL and it handles everything. And then it hands off a fully formed, authentic UGC story to your character actor, your digital twin, ready to shoot. That's the zero to story pipeline, and it's a big deal. So let's talk about the V2 design principles. What actually changed under the hood? Version 2 is built on 6 core principles. These replace the old section-by-section transformation map entirely. Principle 1, opener variety. Version 1 offered 4 opener options and the AI defaulted to honestly almost every single time. Version 2 gives the system 12 opener types: problem, temporal, rhetorical question, a mid-thought entry, maybe even an action-based, situational. It matches the opener type to the hook style of the original script. Honestly, it's still in there. It's just one option out of 12 instead of the default. Principle 2, structural freedom. Instead of mapping each section to a fixed transformation, V2 distributes the naturalness where it fits the content itself. Sometimes the hook stays clean and the pain section carries all the conversation weight. Sometimes the CTA is the most casual part. It feels organic because the system is actually making decisions, not just following a template. Principle 3, sentence level naturalness. This one's a requirement, not a suggestion. Every V2 output must include at least one incomplete thought or self-correction, one hedging phrase, one temporal marker, at first, then, now, and one trailing sentence ending. These are structural rules baked into the output. Now, principle 4, expanded banned phrases. More on this in just a second. We built a full no-fly list of marketing cliches and overused casual phrases that crept back into a conversation process. Principle 5, the CTA as advice, not a pitch. Now, the call to action in V2 sounds like the end of a story, not the beginning of a sales pitch. If it's been bugging you, just get it. That's a recommendation. That's what a friend says, not click the link below and grab yours today. Principle 6, implied emotion. Stated emotions are out. Specific detail is in. You don't say, I was so frustrated. You say, I was done. Just done. The feeling lands harder when you show it instead of naming it. The banned phrases list. I want to spend a minute on this because this is the list a lot of the fingerprinting was happening in V1. Honestly, as an opener, showed up in the majority of V1 outputs. It became a fingerprint. Game changer. A marketing cliche. Real people almost never say this in actual conversation. When's the last time you called something a game changer talking to a friend? Stumbled upon. This one became its own cliche. Every single product was stumbled upon. Nobody finds anything anymore. They stumble upon it. You won't regret it. Classic sales closer. The moment it shows up, the casual illusion breaks. Grab yours today. That's ad speak that somehow survived the V1 conversion process. It is gone now. No joke and literally as intensifiers, both overused to the point of meaningless. Hey guys, you guys, it addresses the camera, not a person. And the whole V2 framework is built around the bar conversation framework. You're not talking to an audience, you're talking to one person at the bar. Dude, man, bro, they're gender-specific slang that immediately excludes female speakers. And lastly, for real, as a CTA tag, it became formulaic, almost appeared in the same position always. So every one of these phrases sounds casual in its own, but when they keep showing up in the same spots, same order, your audience starts to recognize a pattern. And the moment they recognize that pattern, the authenticity is gone. Before and after, side by side. This is where it gets really clear. I want to show you the actual scripts side by side. Let's start with the Zoom H audio recorder. TikTok script, 60 seconds. Here's the original. Fellow content creators, are you constantly stressing about your audio levels? I totally get it. I used it to ruin so many perfect takes because of unexpected loud or quiet moments. But then I found the Zoom H Essential. It literally makes clipping impossible. No joke. Now I just hit the record, focus on my content, grab yours. It's a game changer. Now here's version 2. So I kept blowing takes, not because of my delivery, but because my audio would just clip out of nowhere. I nailed the shot and the recording was garbage. Over and over, someone mentioned the Zoom H Essential, and I was skeptical, but it kind of solved the whole problem. You just hit record and it handles the rest. Now I don't think about audio anymore. If this is what you're into, check it out. Now, that's a completely different thing. No opener cliches. The problem comes first. Skepticism is built in. The CTA is a suggestion from a friend, not a pitch. And we've got 5 of these comparisons in the document that I'll provide below. Every single one shows the same shift from V1 to V2. The core shift in one sentence. I want you to sit with this one for a second. Version 1 converted a sales pitch into a casual sales pitch. Version 2 converts a sales pitch into a story, where the product is the turning point and the speaker sounds like they're still figuring out how good it is. And that's the difference between someone reciting a recommendation and someone giving one. That's it. That's the whole thing. And it sounds simple when you say it out loud, but building a system that does that consistently across different products, different hooks, different avatar voices, that's what it took to work. What this means for your avatars. Here's why it matters inside VidMasher. We're working with 8 different UGC avatars, 8 different speakers delivering the same product message in their own voices. And the V2 approach is critical for that for 3 reasons. First, variety compounds. When 8 avatars all start with honestly and end with seriously, go grab one, the audience immediately recognizes the pattern and tunes out. But when each avatar sounds like they're telling their own version of the story, the repetition becomes reinforcement. It doesn't feel like an ad you've seen before. It feels like another person you trust is saying the same thing. Second, authenticity is the product. The entire value proposition of UGC is that it doesn't look like an ad. A subroutine that produces the same fingerprint every single time defeats that purpose at scale. You're not just scaling content, you're scaling trust. And trust doesn't scale if it doesn't sound authentic. Third, the bar conversion frame holds across all speakers. Whether the avatar is a 24-year-old fitness creator or a 45-year-old professional. I kept waiting for it to stop working as well as it did the first time. It hasn't. That line sounds authentic no matter who says it. It's a game changer. Grab yours today. Sounds like an ad regardless of who says it. That's why the frame matters, not just the words. So here's the new workflow. Let me walk you through how simple this actually is now. Step 1, plug in your URL or paste in a cell script that you've already got. Step 2, the system analyzes the page. Target audience, pain points, key variables, all automated. Step 3, the script gets written, built on real copywriting principles. Step 4, the script gets converted into an authentic UGC story using the V2 Real Talk mode. All 6 principles, banned phrases enforced, implied emotion, and casual advice for a CTA. Step 5, it gets handed off to your VidMasher avatar, your digital twin, ready to deliver. URL in, authentic UGC story out. That's the whole pipeline. This changes everything. Look, I've put a lot of time into this, more than I'm going to pretend is normal, but I genuinely believe this is the missing piece for short form video at scale. You can have the best avatar, the best tool, the best offer, but if the script sounds like an ad, it performs like an ad. And short form video audiences are incredibly good at sniffing that out. They've seen thousands of these. They know the pattern. The way to break through isn't to be louder, it's to be realer, if that's the word. And that starts with the story. URL in, story out, avatar delivers it. You win. That's what Real Talk V2 is all about. And I think it's going to completely change the way you do short form video with VidMasher or any other tool. Start with a story, and I'll see you on the inside.